Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a brand new episode of Shane's World, the weekly show where we talk about the latest and greatest news in the world of pop culture. Now, a little bit of a channel update to start things off. I know I've been a little stop and go on the channel with videos, with content production lately, but that's all about to change. I just turned 23 yesterday, and one big thing I want to focus on before I hit 24 is growing this channel, producing more content, gaining more quality and quantity of the content here on the channel, and hopefully boosting up the subscribers number a substantial amount. So we are going to have a ton of content starting this week. We're going to dive into the first two Jurassic Parks later this week and talk about the future MCU. So there's 3 more videos coming out later this week, so make sure you subscribe to get all of that stuff, including this video here. Now let's dive into the news. Up first, we have some Scream 6 updates. Of course, if you know me, if you're a fan of the channel, you know Scream's my favorite film of all time. Really enjoyed this year's reboot sequel type of feel, and I'm very much excited for the next one. And now we have some updates with the core cast of the newest film coming back. We get Melissa Barrera coming back, we got Jenny Ortega coming back, and then we get Randy's niece and nephew coming back as well to join them in Scream 6. They are now confirmed alongside Courtney Cox as returning for Scream 6, and that was cool to see, but everyone kind of assumed that. But the big one that has been confirmed to come back is Hayden Panettiere is coming back as Kirby Reed from Scream 4, fan favorite character. She's coming back into the fold for Scream 6. Of course, in the new Scream, they confirmed she didn't die as she's a contact in Dewey's phone. So that's cool. It's freaking awesome. She's coming back. Hayden seems to have some problems off screen. Hopefully that doesn't bleed into the film, but I'm so glad she's coming back. I'm curious if she's going to come back to actually get killed. I think that actually might be up to Gale. She might be the legacy character that's going to get the axe this time around. Curious to see that Neve Campbell hasn't signed on yet. It doesn't seem like, I think she probably will, but I'm curious to see, like, it's curious that she hasn't yet. Like, they got Kirby to sign on before her. Curious to see, maybe Sydney's story's over. Maybe she's going to go off with Mark and her children and just live her life while this other stuff happens. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think Gale might die towards the beginning of the movie, and that brings Sydney back in to, like, try to stop Ghostface once again. But nonetheless, I'm so damn excited for this new Scream film, especially with the news of Kirby coming back. These guys are just doing it right. I love their films. I loved Ready or Not. Loved the new Scream. Can't wait to see what they do with the franchise next year. The next piece of news, jumping over to a very different franchise in Dune. Of course, last year we got the first Dune film, and they confirmed part 2 in the casting. The casting for the first Dune's incredible, but Austin Butler's joining the second one. Florence Pugh's joining the second one. There's a couple other cast members, but now we have Christopher Walken joining the cast as the Emperor of the Universe. I'm not going to lie to you, I don't know a whole lot about Dune. Never read the books, never watched the old David Lynch movie. All I know is that new movie, so I'm not too familiar with what's going to happen next, not familiar with the Emperor of the Universe that Christopher Walken's going to be playing, but I do know that I'm a huge Walken fan. I think the last, like, big role he had was the live-action Jungle Book, probably, so it's cool to see him coming back into the limelight before he possibly retires from acting, you know, sooner than later. He's not no spring chicken, so I'm curious to see what this means. I think it's Austin Butler's character's father or uncle, possibly, but either way, like, the more casting they announce for these Dune movies, it just blows my freaking mind, because the first one was fantastic. I can't wait. That's also coming out next year. I mean, this year's been really good for movies so far, but next year's going to be so damn crazy as well. Like, can't wait for Dune 2 and to see what Christopher Walken and the rest of these new cast members bring to the table in the film. Jumping over on to the TV side of things, CW. Yes, the CW, a pretty, I guess, popular network. It's got a lot of popular shows on there. You know, that's where Smallville was. I mean, it was the WB for a time. Supernatural, of course. Those probably 2 of their biggest shows. Arrow. Now they have The Flash, Superman, and Lois. Well, they canceled a ton of their shows this week. Batwoman, gone. Legends of Tomorrow, gone. Naomi, gone. Legacies, Dynasty, Into the Dark. Bunch of other stuff, gone. But they did pick up some shows. They picked up a Walker spin-off prequel, Independence. They picked up the Supernatural prequel, The Winchesters, and they picked up a new DC show, Gotham Knights. Now, this is curious because it seems like the CW is kind of trying to enter a streamlined era, like where if your show's not reaching like this amount of popularity, we can't afford to have it. There was those reports a few months ago that the CW has not been profitable since 2006, which is insane with all these popular shows on there. And I'm curious to see what this means because, like, they got rid of a lot of stuff, like a lot of fan favorite shows. A lot of people were mad that they didn't get rid of Riverdale, especially since the cast doesn't want to do it anymore. Riverdale's probably going to end with its next season, I'd have to assume. The Flash is probably going to end with its next season, I'd have to assume. So, and a lot of people think this is because of, David Zaslav, the new CEO of Warner Brothers, trying to streamline DC and stuff. I don't think that's it at all, because I don't think he has that much control over the CW. And why would he cancel all the DC shows to get more streamlined and then greenlight another one with Gotham Knights? It just doesn't make sense. I don't think that's the reason. I think it's just that CW's like, listen, we need to make some money. Supernatural's our most popular show of all time. Let's greenlight a prequel. Walker's doing really well for us. Let's greenlight a prequel. Gotham Knights, it's Batman related. Let's get it in. Like, let's see if this works and generate some content. They still have some shows on there. Like I said, Riverdale and Flash probably going to end soon, but they still do have Superman and Lois, which is the only one I still watch because it's really damn good. They still have like the All-American shows, the Nancy Drew shows, and they're working on that Justice U show with John Diggle. So the future of the CW looks very interesting to say the least. I hope all these shows work out for them. I'm definitely going to check out the Supernatural prequel and the Gotham Knight show. I'm curious to see what's in store for both of those. Am I gutted about any of these shows being canceled? Not really. A few years ago I would have, because I was watching Batwoman and Legends a few years ago, but I quit watching them like 2 seasons ago. Naomi, I tried watching it. It just, sorry if you're a fan of the show, it wasn't for me. I didn't think it was very good. None of the acting was very good. The scripts weren't the greatest, and I expected a lot because Ava DuVernay was behind that, and she's fantastic. So the CW is entering a new era, but the question is, will fans stick around after all these cancellations? We'll have to wait and see what the future holds for the CW. Jumping back into movies, speaking of Warner Brothers, Godzilla vs. Kong was kind of Warner Brothers' first movie out of the gate in the coming back out of the pandemic kind of. We're still in it for the most part, but it was kind of their first movie in theaters, trying to come out of things, and it performed fairly well, even though it was on HBO Max, and now they have greenlit a sequel. A few months ago, it was reported that they're working on a TV series for Apple TV Plus, which is interesting that it's not for HBO Max, but now they have officially greenlit a sequel to that. I don't know if it's Godzilla vs. Kong 2, a King Kong movie, Godzilla movie, something else entirely, but we just know it's the next MonsterVerse film. The director of Godzilla vs. Kong, Adam Wingard, is returning, which gets me excited because Godzilla vs. Kong was my favorite MonsterVerse film so far, and I loved Your Next, and The Guest. He directed both of those, and speaking of The Guest, he's bringing back the star of that movie, Dan Stevens, to star in the next MonsterVerse film. Now, I love Dan Stevens. I loved him in The Guest, loved him in Beauty and the Beast, loved him in Legion, but I don't like the human characters in these movies. They always stink. None of the dialogue's very good. Their stories don't really matter that much. I just want to see monsters kicking ass for 90 minutes, and then I'm out of there. I don't really need the human characters, but at least they keep getting quality actors like Dan Stevens. Am I excited for this movie? Yes, I am. It's another movie that's coming out next year that I can't wait to see, because like I said, the MonsterVerse started off rocky for me, like Godzilla 2014, Kong Skull Island, and then Godzilla King of the Monsters was good, and then Godzilla vs. Kong was really good. It was very entertaining, so I'm curious to see what comes next in this MonsterVerse and how long they can keep it going, because the franchise, from what I understand, is having diminishing returns, so I'm curious, maybe if the next one's the grand finale, we'll have to wait and see. The last thing we're going to talk about today is another kind of sort of monster movie, is the next film in the Predator franchise. Now, I'm a big Predator fan, but I don't think I've enjoyed a film since the first one. Like Predator 2, a lot of people like it, not for me. Alien vs. Predators, gross. Both of them stink. Predators, I go back and forth on it. Like sometimes I hate it, but then I rewatch it. I'm like, that's not that bad. It's probably my second favorite in the franchise. And then, what was it? The Predator that came out a few years ago. It wasn't terrible, like it's watchable, but it was more or less like a dumb action movie, not up to the snuff of the original. But They're bringing the franchise back. It's going to be on Hulu from the director of 10 Cloverfield Lane, Dan Trachtenberg. That's a detail that gets me very excited because I love 10 Cloverfield Lane. And what gets me excited is that this is a prequel set way back in time, I think in the 1800s somewhere, on like an Indian reservation. And the teaser trailer doesn't really show us a lot. It shows a girl running through a field, and then she trips and gets dragged. And, she's with an archer, and then on the archer's head, he's like, shh. But then on his head, you see the famous 3 dots show up on his forehead, and then you hear like the tracking signal, and then you hear the clicking noise that Predator makes. And I was like, oh man. And then it cuts to black and just shows Prey coming to Hulu August 5th. So this movie's coming soon, and I can't wait to see it. I hope it kind of revitalizes the franchise. Definitely more excited for it from this first teaser than I was for the last Predator movie. I think this is cool. I think it's a great direction to go in. If they're not going to be able to bring back Arnold Schwarzenegger for like a legacy sequel, then this is the proper way to go. I'm curious to see if it crushes it on Hulu, if we get a sequel, if we get another movie out of this franchise. I hope we do, because I love the franchise, but I think it needs another good movie to really get going once again. But what do you guys think of the Prey trailer? Did you watch it today? It just came out a few hours ago. What did you think of all the other news, the Scream news, the Godzilla vs. Kong news, the CW killing, but bringing in some new shows? What do you think about all this week's news? Let me know down in the comments below. And make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can be here tomorrow for the Jurassic Park review, Wednesday for the MCU speculation review, and I think Friday is probably when the Lost World review is going to drop. So make sure you subscribe for all that, and like this video and share it on all your social media platforms. Of course, you know what to do. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys right here next time.